Alright, so we've been working on this Garrard Lab 80. It's been on the table for a minute, so tonight's the first night I was able to get in and take it apart and see what I'm looking at here. And, you know, every time I work on a model of Garrard turntables that I've not really worked on before, I always think, man, this is no engineered piece of shit, and this guy's no different. So, I mean, all this brass was packed in there. You got all these screws and shit over here, which, you know, on these record changers, it's not really that big of a surprise, but the way that's organized is a little bit more complicated, or a little bit more compact than some of the other Garrards that I've worked on. And so we've got some weird peculiarities on this guy. So I think this is like an international version because this guy right here, I was looking at the manual, and you can actually set this to where you'll be able to plug this in over in the UK and have it work. You just have to take this screw off or this nut off, and then just change some of the wiring in there, and then you'd be able to handle the higher current they have over there in the United Kingdom. But we got a few things that need to do. Obviously, take the old grease off and put new stuff on. But this idler wheel is hard as a rock, so we will be trying to find a replacement for that. The platter bearing, not a good sign. I turned that over, and then the 5 little ball bearings that were in there are now right there. And so I think there's a website that does an aftermarket platter bearings and washer, so I think I'll order that, and they also do these guys right here. Downside to that is they're in Canada and I'm in the States, and some orange idiot decided to put tariffs on everything, so pay a little bit extra for that. So thank you, you orange tiny hand bastard. But the other thing is this motor. On all the other Garrards I've worked on, like, so these are the posts that connect to the bottom of the board, right through there. And on all the other Garrards I've worked on, like, this is where your rubber grommet is to reduce any kind of rumble that goes from the motor to the deck, and try and reduce that sound so it doesn't come through the speakers. But this is the first one I've seen. It's 3 round rubber grommets up top. They almost look like balloons, and then 3 at the bottom. So I'm going to see if I can't see if there's any aftermarket parts on here. Other than that, it looks like it is pretty straightforward. I've got the schematic, so I'll be able to put it back together slowly but surely. And somebody's been in here because they lost one of the tiny little screws, but that's not that big of a deal, I don't think. But yeah, hopefully we get this thing up and running and working, and get this little piggy off to market and out of the house. This is all an effort to reclaim my dining room table that's just covered in turntables. All right, we'll talk to y'all later.